Okay.
If someone like Simba Dickey decided, you know, hey, we want to do a 143 scale collector series, higher end, higher price tag, you know, and the market is out there for the higher end stuff.
Yeah.
Aimed specifically at collectors, and said, yeah, and we want to do older cars. Now, older cars now can be a Ford Capri.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, from the 70s or the 80s, you know.
Yeah.
Jesus, make a Granada for you know, cars like that.
Yeah.
The old Falcons and Commodores from Australia, there'd be a heap of cars in America, you know, pick a country. Any cars from the 70s, 80s, 90s would be now considered an older car. Now, they could fit under the guise of that moniker of, say, a models of yesteryear.
Yeah.
Now, as Mattel have let that lapse, what a great opportunity for Simba Dickey or some other company to step in and say, we're going to grab that name and we're going to grab that branding. It's dead. Mattel don't want it. Mattel aren't using it, and they've given it up. Yeah. Much the same way that Mattel used to grab the Dinky brand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know that Mattel actually owned Corgi for a bit.
Oh, well, maybe it's Corgi that I'm thinking of. That they got that because someone let the IP on it lapse.
Yeah,
it must be Corgi.
I mean, it's interesting that Lesney is.
No, sorry, it was Dinky because they put them out as Matchbox collectibles.
That's right. Yes, Matchbox Dinky. Yes.
Yes, so it was Dinky that
yeah.
Hornby had let it lapse.
Yeah.
And so Matchbox stepped in, took the name, and started printing it. I think there was a range of the small miniature scale cars that they did with rubber tires and that, and stamped Dinky underneath them.
That's right, because it was the Matchbox Premier.
That's it.
Yeah, which basically I deemed that era to be the honeymoon period of Mattel, in terms of when they actually took, how can we say, did a hostile takeover of Tyco.
Yeah, well, it was at that time that they obtained the Dinky brand.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of sub brands like those models of yesteryear and stuff that they're out there for the taking now because Mattel have let them lapse and they don't care.
Yeah.
So
it's I mean it's for a massive company like Mattel, it's regards to they've missed so much in terms of opportunity. You know, regards to obviously, here in the UK we've got air shows. In America they've got air shows. You know, it's in the 80s and 90s, the real life, the licenses. Come on, it doesn't cost that much money, surely, in regards to obviously having licenses, because they've had, regards to the stealth fighter, they've had Phantom jets, F-18s, F-16s, British Tornadoes. What got me, right, is regards to Eurofighter Typhoon. Yeah, made in the UK, BAE at Filton. It's a British plane. Yet I've only seen one version of the Typhoon here in the UK. Yeah, in America and Europe, there's quite a few liveries, including there's what actually somebody actually posted. I don't know if it was a code 3 or whether it's actually a proper, but in RAF livery, and also seen one in Luftwaffe, because basically the Germans have basically, they call it in terms of, the Eurofighter.
Yeah.
The Germans, so the EF-2000. So it's, saw one in basically some JG-74 squadron markings.
That seems to be a theme with them. Some years ago, they had in a 10-pack a Subaru Impreza in a 10-pack, and it was done in the Victorian State Police colours.
Yes, I think I remember. Yeah, I've got that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. you'd be one of the few because it was never released in Australia.
It's frightening.
And you think, well, you've done it in the colours of an Australian state police force, and
Yep.
yet then only release it in the US.
I mean, what got me was regards to the Land Rover set,
Yeah,
right? Land
not available here in the UK.
built down the road for me. I mean, basically, we've got we've got the here in Wolverhampton, we've got the actual engine factory. Just down the road, we've got third-party supplier, and then 20 miles down the road is Solihull, the home of Land Rover.
Yep.
Now, there was actually a few models available in the UK, but I had to go to, in fact, ABG were the last ones before they actually stopped having Matchbox. ABG were the last ones to actually have the Land Rover sets. Now, somebody did state that they were available in some of the Asda stores, but they were like 10, 12 quid. Because obviously, regards to Cleveland's, now and again get Matchbox in. I actually managed to get the new Mercedes 5-pack.
Yeah.
From Cleveland's, and that is a really nice set. That I actually got a case of them. But yeah, I mean, some of the Land Rover dealerships were actually selling the actual individual Land Rover card ones at £15 each. You know, it's like, crikey.
Yeah, but that shows that the product will sell, and it will sell
Yeah.
for a reasonable price.
Well, what gets me is that regards to they missed out on Ice Road Truckers. You know, basically have an Ice Road Truckers convoy set.
Yep.
You know, it's like, how big was Ice Road? I mean, Ice Road Truckers is pretty big here in the UK because we have we have truck shows, you know, here in the UK. You know, it's just like on the sales and marketing, it's just missing out.
Well, I can tell you, you know, our shop here now, we've got, it's a village store. We're in a village of 300 people, about 500 if I count the surrounding villages. As I said, 30 miles southwest of Inverness, way up in the Highlands, middle of nowhere. Now I take, because I've just got some, as I said, I used to sell toys when I was in Australia. So I've still got some old Matchbox cars. Now I stick them out on the shelf and I sell them here.
Yeah.
Same price as Tesco's and that, and they sell hand over fist.
Yeah.
All kids love, so I don't buy the argument when people say, oh, kids don't buy them. Yes, they do.
Of course I do. Matchbox is still a household name.
Yeah. Now, if I can put some, what are now 10-year-old Matchbox on my shelf, sell them for $1.99. I put $1.99, so £2 each.
Yeah.
And put them out there, and I'm constantly replacing them because we're selling them. I don't sell a lot, but then, as I say, there's 500 people. That's man, woman, and child.
Yeah, of course it is.
In this area, and of that, I'm selling half a dozen Matchbox per week.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm doing that in my tiny little shop in the middle of the Scottish Highlands, then how much could Mattel be making if they were back where they used to be, in every corner store, in every village shop, in every supermarket, not just Tesco's?
Well, you know, when they decided to obviously have Asda as the Solos reseller, Wolverhampton's population of 250,000 people, and one case of 72 delivered. And it's like, and there's basically, it's like, apparently there's about 15,000, the footfall the manager said it basically has got a footfall of 15,000 people a day.
Yeah.
Because it's the only Asda in Wolverhampton. We've got 4 Morrisons within the general area. There's 1, 2, but we got that's it, because you got other places just outside Wolverhampton, basically Bilston and Willenhall. They've got Willenhall has got a Morrison's and a big Tesco.
Yep.
That's my nearest Tesco, because unfortunately Tesco closed their store down in Wolverhampton. Crikey, 2012, 2013. So yeah, it must be about 6-7 years ago. So therefore I have to go to basically to Willenhall, but there's a big one at Walsall. It's basically, I've been to those places and there's not been any Matchbox at all. I've had to go down the M54 to Telford to a Tesco there, because that's the next nearest Tesco for me. No Matchbox there. So I've been on the motorbike. So it's 9 miles from my house to Willenhall. Then it's about another 4 miles from Willenhall to Walsall. And then it's about 30 miles then from Walsall to Telford. You know,
it's crazy, isn't it?
There's Aston in Birmingham. There's a Tesco there, so I've been there twice in 1 week. All with regards to delivery. Oh yeah, we have delivery of toys. Okay, so I've gone on the train from from Wolverhampton to Birmingham, and then a train from Birmingham to Aston. Walked across the road. I've gone on a Thursday and I've gone on a Saturday, no Matchbox. And there's only in the actual main Birmingham city centre. Well, it's not exactly in the city centre per se, but it's just on the outskirts of the city centre. There's a Tesco in Birmingham, no Matchbox there. But I've actually gone to have done over 200 miles in a day, going around various Tesco stores looking for Matchbox.
Yeah.
I've covered Rugby, I've covered Coventry, I've even been Nottingham, and I've even been down the basically M6, where according to Coventry, Rugby, and I went further down, the M6 to Cambridge, well, M6 A14 to Cambridge, because just outside Cambridge, there's 2 Tesco stores there, just outside Cambridge. Well, there's actually three Tesco stores, because there's one going out along the A14 north.
Yeah.
3. So
well, we've got 3 Tesco's in Inverness. So which you know, for me, as I say, that's 30 mile in, 30 mile out.
Yeah.
So I've got to do a 60-mile round trip just to get to Inverness. There are 3 Tesco's, or 3 big ones. Only 2 of them stock Matchbox. So one never has it, doesn't stock it. So don't bother going. The other 2, they do stock it, but rarely.
Yeah.
It is hit and miss. And I can go there and, yeah, there'll be half a dozen cars on the pegs, or not even on the pegs. They're just in a dump bin. And then I could go back a week later, it'll be the same half dozen cars. It's not stocked up. It's poorly managed.
Yep. I mean, I'm just trying to work out. I mean, I actually went to oh God. I mean, as obviously regards to, you know, lockdown and traveling, trying to keep away public transport as much as I can, but I've had to use public transport to get to, you know, basically the nearest Tesco's. But yeah, 17th of August, 6 Tesco supermarkets and 225 miles. That's the last time that I've actually found. So I mean, we're now. I mean, that's basically. It's just absolutely shocking because there's still no Matchbox in my nearest Tesco supermarket. I mean, this is actually supermarket. Basically, it covers the motorway network triangle of M5 and the M5 M6 triangle aspect on the corner. So that Tesco covers parts of Wolverhampton, well, all of Wolverhampton really, Willenhall, some parts of Bilston, and basically most of the Black Country, including West Brom and southern part. Well, where are we? Regards to, I'm just trying to think. Regards to the location of Birmingham, it is so. It's the actual the western part of Birmingham, southwest part of Birmingham. But it's just bizarre, really, regards to the actual area that covers. But no Matchbox have not even had any Hot Wheels. The toy aisle is basically smaller than the gap. I mean, that there is my oven, and it's quite a big supermarket in Willenhall.
Yeah.
And the actual toy aisle is smaller than that gap there. The majority of that toy aisle is actual Lego.
Yeah, it's the same up here, and say like Inverness is about 50,000 people.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've said to various people that I've spoken to in Mattel and put on forums before, is that maybe they should look at Lego, because in 1999, 2000 or thereabouts, that was a company that was on the brink of bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And they bought it back and are now the #1 selling product in the world.
Yep.
So, you know, and that is a old school product. So if they can do it, you know, maybe they should, as I've said to them, maybe you should look at that and say, well, what lessons can we learn there?
Well, this is it, because okay, yeah, they've actually, you know, obviously, you know, inherited, shall we say, a lot of brands, but Matchbox is Mattel's second oldest brand in their portfolio. Fisher Price is technically there's actually they come down the list because they actually did buy out a doll company, which was basically got heritage of quite a couple of 100 years. This doll company. And
who was that?
As what you were saying early on, regards to obviously, you know, licenses and, you know, in regards to names and stuff like that, these particular dolls are on par with Steiff doll, you know, Steiff teddy bears.
Yep.
Yeah, Mattel have not, but basically just ditched, you know.
Yeah, they don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. You know, and it's just like, again, another household name. I mean, regards to, mind you, Fisher Price, I'm very surprised, really. You know, that Mattel is, you know, still holding on to Fisher Price, because distribution of that here in the UK is not as widely as what it has been. Okay, yeah, Toys R Us is closed, but you know, it's there's still other companies that can, you know, sell that product. Especially, I mean, there's plenty of independent stores, regards to, you know, mother and baby stores that's going around independent wise. Plenty of them around.
There's a myriad of potential there, but they don't want it.
Yeah.
I am convinced 100% that they don't want to earn money, not off this brand.
It's bizarre. I mean, basically somebody said to me, oh, it costs thousands of pounds to regards to develop one Matchbox car.
Oh, it's more than thousands.
In terms of the design and mold.
The mold itself is hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
So for them to say, yeah, we're going to develop you know, Sierra Cosworth, a new Cosworth or something. It's going to cost them 100,000 plus just to develop the mold.
Yeah.
Then they've got a licensing fee to Ford and,
Yep.
and various other costs. And yet they seem to do that, but then don't promote it and don't want to sell it to recoup their money.
This is it. And because you mentioned Simba Dickey earlier on, because obviously regards to, you know, in terms of regards to majorette, what gets me is that majorette have got some very high premium cars that are basically totally metal base, rubber tires, yet they're being picked up for, you know, just over £1 in home bargains.
Yep.
Of all places. You know, it's like who is really making the profit?
Yeah. But see, their other problem, which everybody outside of America can see, except for the Americans, is this $1 price point.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but even regards to recycled metal, white metal doesn't cost that much.
Yeah, but they're still selling these things at $1.
Yeah.
In the States. Now that's been that price 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah.
But it's time to say, I'm sorry, this is no longer a $1 car, and make it, Jesus, I don't know, $1.20.
Yeah.
You know, it's a 20% increase in revenue. And really, $1.20 for a car is nothing when the rest of the world are paying the equivalent of $2 plus.
This is it. I mean, but what gets me is regards to Hot Wheels has made in Malaysia and Matchbox is made in Thailand.
Yep.
The distribution, you know, in regards to obviously shipping costs and everything, in regards to the countries, because of what was really quite interesting is I actually took a picture of one of the cases that I actually found. That basically the actual in a Tesco's was that it was one of case 556 designated for UK, stamped on there, and they're actually flown into the country for Tesco. So
Yeah.
for this, and this was back in this was actually case A of 2020 models, and I've not seen any case B yet here in the UK.
No, I don't know what's in what case, but I haven't seen anything new for a while.
I mean, I've got there's a couple of people on LinkedIn that have sent me some stuff. There's a couple of guys on the MCF forum have basically been, well, there's one guy in particular has been sending me stuff on a monthly basis from the USA, purely because he must admit he's been really good with regards to me. And basically, I mean, he's a firefighter as well, so is when he actually gets his free time and has gone all out and tried to get as much as he can from me, but it shouldn't be like that. I mean, I live in the ancestral home of a big brand name, and yet the UK, well, mind you, the UK office now is non-existent because Mattel is just basically, it's just what I would. Mattel UK, I mean, it was what, 2001, I went to the office, Maidenhead, and they were quite surprised I actually turned up. And I said, oh, yeah, I'm after, the pamphlets and all this. And I went, oh, yeah, okay, we're a bit limited, but we can give you this and can give you that. And, yeah, great. I got, they had the huge, big posters. Like when you go to a gig, the big, like tour poster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've got so obviously all the models on, and it's like, oh yeah, we'll have some of that. So I did a business objects training course at Business Objects when they're in Maidenhead, and the office was just, and it was just collection of like porter cabins with cladding all over them. But what got me was that Toys R Us HQ was actually in an office next door.
Yeah, I've heard you mention that on LinkedIn.
And that was just like totally bizarre. That was, but yeah, but it seems to be now that Mattel UK has just sort of like disappeared. Just seems to be like a telephone number and email address linked to that, and a lot of people now seem to be working from home, really.
So do they even still exist?
So, but this is it.
Well, it says they still exist in Maidenhead.
Yeah, but it's not as the office doesn't seem to be as big as what it is, because it seems to be like various UK account managers seem to be effectively based from home, and this was basically in terms of way before COVID.
Yep.
So the various people dotted up and down the country that I'd noticed a couple of years ago had been effectively working.
Well, that's interesting. I just brought it up on Google Street View. That's really small.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. There's basically, it's just like I remember it being a bunch of porter cabins put together.
Yeah, for a company of the size, that's quite scary. No
It
wonder
is.
they don't give a shit.
It is. But then again, I mean, consider it's okay. Yeah, in terms of warehouse aspect, I believe at DHL, are basically seem to be the big warehouse. Supposed to be Coventry, Northamptonshire way. Regards for Mattel, but there's few and far between. It's nowhere near as what I mean. The demand, I think the demand is if you actually went out on the street, regards to various models, and say, well, look, would you be interested in buying this? I bet there would be loads.
Oh, of course they would. But then see their current distribution method is all wrong as well.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, if they went back to how because it's all this batch numbers.
Yeah.
And that's wrong. There was they did they've done it several times. The Holden Commodore. It's a Ute, so similar to my one.
Yep.
And they've made that one now in America and Europe. It wouldn't be a big seller, quite frankly, because people don't know it, people don't recognize it.
Yep.
But when I was selling this stuff in Australia, I could not get enough of them.
Yeah.
Now, I was getting guys in America to buy them for me and just ship me boxes of nothing but that. Now, if you could go back to, as it was with Lesney, that you could contact them and say, just send me a box of 48 of that one vehicle.
Yep, could do that.
Yeah, they could do it. And surely it's got to be easier to get them off the production line in a big batch. I like that. And you figure then that, okay, that Commodore, you could take boxes of them to Australia, sell them hand over fist. You could take a Vauxhall Cavalier or something to the UK and sell them hand over fist, which you wouldn't sell elsewhere.
Yeah.
And overall, you'd sell far more in total around the world if you could specify them.
Yeah, but the only thing is, you see, Mattel seems to be one of those companies where they don't actually own any warehouses, and it's basically in terms of regards to manufacture and ship out in terms of a just-in-time aspect.
Yeah, but I can't believe that they don't have the ability to do that. I mean, if because they're not producing them in batches, they're producing them individually. They would produce
a
million Vauxhall Cavaliers.
Yes. Yeah.
So they've got to store them somewhere until they've got 47 other different vehicles
Yeah. Yeah.
to be able to make a batch.
Yeah.
Or no, not 47 anymore, because they do them in boxes of 24. I
Yeah.
think.
But yeah, but basically, in the UK example, short card 72 in a case, and then the tall card is 20. Is it 24 in a
Yeah,
case?
I think it's 24 in the tall card.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but either way, they've got to store them somewhere until you get 24.
Yeah.
So surely at some point, if someone said, well, as 1,000 Cavaliers come off the production line, I want 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
It's got to be easy to just box up them and send them.
Wow, this is it, isn't it?
I would have thought.
But there we go. You know, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, regards to lean processes now, you know, regards to costs and everything, but it's a big bean counters at the end of the day seem to ruin everything.
Yep. I'm going to have to wrap it up. I've got my boys just walked in here
Okay, but
wanting something.
it's good talking to you. We'll see what happens next week.
Yep, I'll be back on.
Great
As
stuff.
I say, set it up on Facebook as a an event,
Yes, mate.
and just send me a message. I'll make anything on there as an announcement, so it sticks to the top.
Okay, great stuff.
Otherwise, you know, it'll build up. It'll happen.
Yeah. I mean, it just basically be like what it was, well, all those years ago, really. I mean, just having to scroll through just to carry on regards to the conversation.
Yeah. All right, mate. You take care.
You too, Brad. All right, cheers.
All right. Talk to you
Bye.
later.